Assume you are asked to perform this collection of notes with your keyboard. How would you do that? Because if you play C, D, E natural, F, G, it would sound like this. And if you play C, D, E flat, F, G, it would sound like this. This is the very challenge that made me think of changing the tuning of my accordion, an instrument that encompasses not more than 12 equally tempered fixed pitches in the span of an octave. My name is Farzad Milani, and I'm finishing my studies in a music theory master's program at McGill University Schulich Music School. Doing this ResonatorTube video at Kermet, the Center for Interdisciplinary Research in Music Media and Technology, allowed me to briefly explain the tuning system that I apply to my accordion to customize it for playing Persian and Arabic melodies. You might be wondering why this is considered music tech. Shouldn't that involve more computers, electronics, and code? In fact, tuning systems have a very long history and are a perfect example of the field of music theory and technology. It involves musicians, mathematicians, and acousticians coming together to define the notion of consonants, which has a different meaning and interpretation for each music school or theorist. In the European tradition, a well-known early example is Pythagoras, who tries to approach all the consonant intervals only using the numbers 2 and 3. Or Zarlino, who adds the number 5 to the previous system and shows the consonants of the major third interval. In my own work, I came across the Persian music temperament, which in addition to the mentioned prime numbers, also encompasses the intervals made by the numbers 7, 11, and 13. But I'm not going to get so deep into the mathematical equations. Instead, I want to show you some melodic examples of Persian music that can be performed by keyboard with the tiny tuning manipulations of a few of the keys. This brings us back to our original problem from the start of the video. The collection of 5 notes that you heard earlier was a pentachord, a 5-note scale, with a neutral third in it. The word neutral might be foreign to you, since the two qualities of a third interval that you, as a Western listener, are familiar with are major and minor. These two intervals could be seen as counterparts of each other to make a perfect fifth interval. But what if we shift the intersection point of the two counterparts of the perfect fifth into precisely the middle and make two equal neutral third intervals? For me, as a Persian musician who has been exposed to intervals out of equal temperament, the sound of this neutral third interval is entirely different from a major third or a minor third. Let me show you my so-called tone bubble diagram to compare the Persian 17-tone temperament with the Western 12-tone system. In the upper set, you can see the place of 12 tones of the equal temperament that we use on piano. As you see, in each of the 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 7th scale degrees, we can only have 2 possibilities, either major or minor. Whereas in the lower set, you can see the place of 17 tones of the Persian temperament. As you see, in each of the same 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 7th scale degrees, we can now have 3 possibilities, either major, minor, or neutral. Let's take a closer look at the first half of my tone bubble diagram. We want to play these 5 notes on the keyboard. Not these notes. And not these notes. Now that you know the theory of what I intended to show, let me elaborate on the tuning changes that I applied to my accordion to solve the problem. Let's take a look inside the accordion. Each clavier or button that you play on the right hand or left hand of accordion depending on the register that you select, can activate a number of reeds that are tuned on the same pitch, which makes them sound together. And that's why the sound of even a single note on accordion can be so rich timbre-wise. As beautiful as the accordion sounds, it is challenging to change its tuning, since you need to retune all the reeds that are related to a specific pitch. Each reed has two tongues that vibrate by inhale or exhale. To raise the pitch, some material at the tip of a reed tongue is removed, and to lower the pitch, some material at the foot of the reed tongue is removed. Now that we have the accordion tuned, let's get back to why we wanted to do this in the first place. Here's a bit of Persian music with some electronic accompaniment in a mode called Segah with a neutral third in it, which is now playable on our customized quarter tone accordion.